Excuse me, can such a bare child be saved? He used a water pistol to shoot ants, watching hundreds of ants scurrying away for honey, and he's got a foot. This isn't over. He even flushed it with a hose, flooded the nest. You're too young to be mean. Oh, this kid, been bullied since I was a kid. Every time I get bullied by bullies, he's gonna get worse. Aim your hatred at the ants. However, he did not know. There's an ant he didn't trample to death. Not a simple bug. It's a wizard. Look at the body of your companion. This ant wizard swears to make the baby bear the price. It was late at night. The sorcerer has a death squad with him. Broke into the baby bear's room. It crawled up his ear. Pour a drop of liquid medicine into it. Thunder and lightning. When the bear wakes up, he's become a child the size of an ant. He was a few dozen times bigger than the pants he had worn. The baby peed then, and he saw the ant wizard who made him small. The ants carried him away, all the way across the mountains, came to him and destroyed the nest countless times, and I pushed him down. The nest is like a mysterious world. Giant caterpillar of grazing animals. A line of ants in a 10,000 meter line, and the altar of innumerable ants. This is the ant council, and they brought the baby here. The purpose is to try him. The ants are proposing, eat the baby, but the true judge, it's the queen. I saw her emerge from behind her wings, like a goddess. She says it's easier to destroy than to educate, but only by educating people can we get a better future. So her verdict is, let the children live with the ants, until he really became an ant. To be free, a kind-hearted mother ant, to volunteer to teach him, that's it. The child was left in the colony. Young ants are trained to feed every day, and the kids were thrown into it, except for the nice ant sister at first. No one likes him. Danger lurked in the grass. There's a place full of broken glass. The sun shines. A number of focused spots are formed. The worms are apt to be turned into ashes. The colony will also be attacked by a swarm of bees. They're here for the caterpillar. Thrilling moment. The sister ant ran away with the child. The ants began to fight the bees. They carry 10 times the weight of the stone and move out and knock the bees down. In disarray, a bee has stung the child. Sister ant is trying to protect him and stood up for himself, but the kid didn't help. He ran away. In the grass, the child was targeted by another bee. Fortunately, he found a small firecracker. Use the glass slag on the ground tactfully, focusing the sun's rays. Ignite that fuse of a firecracker. Blew up the bees. Now the bees are retreating. The ants pay their respects to the children. For the first time, he was confirmed. Ants food. It's a green ball. The child tried to take a bite. Ouch. That's a nice flavor. He wolfed down the food, but I didn't know until I finished it. This thing is called honeydew, from the caterpillar. After the caterpillar sucks the plant juice, unwanted sugar can be excreted. It becomes the food of ants. Then the ants show him around. Ant History Memorial Hall. The history of the nest is recorded here. When they come to a huge portrait, the ants all bent down to salute. This is the mother of the ants, and by the side of the mother ant, there is a picture of evil. They call it the cloud-spewing monster. It is said that whenever the cloud thrower passes by, there will be death, and the kid recognized it right away. This is the man. I looked for him the other day. Exterminators, and he signed a contract with him to kill bugs, to protect the ant tribe. He had to cancel his reservation, so he and some of his fellow ants go home with him, find the fructose, but back home, everything's different now. A giant shag carpet. It's almost impenetrable to ants. The kid came up with a plan. Use pedals for a glider. Use the fan as an airflow booster. Heading for the kitchen. Sure enough, they found the fructose. In the meantime, the child tried to call the exterminator. Too bad the phone's too big. He pressed the wrong key. Wrong number. I don't know yet. It was late at night. They returned to the nest. After the ant sorcerers learned of their actions, more angry at the kids. Take your buddies out on the run. So selfish. Don't be afraid. He scolded the child away with a vengeance. Back to the nest. The sorcerer told his companions about it, but others criticized it. To call it selfish, in vain for the efforts of all. When everyone's trying to educate their kids, he's the only one who bullied him. This made the sorcerer a little sorry. The other ants are out looking for the baby. The child at this time came alone to the edge of the pond. A beetle appeared beside him. Say hello to him. But the next minute, and the beetles disappear. What's going on? Oh no. In the pond, little boy peed. A pair of huge eyes appeared in the pond in front of him. It's a frog. It bounces so hard. It has a long tongue, like a giant frog on a charge. The kid ran all the way to hide, run into a companion on the road. The ants quickly climbed into a can, but the kids haven't learned how to climb with ants. Can't climb up. Finally was eaten by the frog into the stomach. There are 3 worms in the frog's belly, and a guy with a smile. Well, there's only one left. Everyone was talking and waiting to die. Just at this point, another guy got swallowed up. It's an ant wizard. Turns out it came to save the baby. It's got an emetic. Feed the frogs. Immediate effect. And spit them all out. One of the flies flew about into light, and the other frogs ate it. No one saved it this time. After this whole thing, the child thanked the sorcerer for saving him, and buried the hatchet, and so on. The child finally realized what he had done. He regrets it, and growing up. Day 2. The exterminators are here. He came to kill the whole lawn. The child hurried back to the nest, tell everyone the bad news, and confess to his own fault. He volunteered to go to war, to the front, but the ants alone cannot defeat the exterminators. The child decided to take risks, go to the enemy of the ants, the bees' territory, and negotiate alliances with them. By this time many of the bees had already died. died, they agreed to an alliance. So the ants were equipped with potions to make it smaller, riding a bee like a fighter, charging at the exterminators. The man is well equipped. In an instant, the charging army was killed and wounded heavily. It was not easy to break through the smoke, only to find him wearing headphones. The potion won't go in. The child jumped into the head of the exterminator. There's dandruff-eating head lice all over the place. The exterminator scratched his head. Shake the kid down. Sister ant rushed up to save him, and they're being beaten up by exterminators. When they fall to the ground, the ant's sister was pinned down by the bees. Can't move. The bees were also badly wounded. Came in the distance. The bug spray. 3 lives at stake. In this moment, and the kid didn't run away like he used to, but they stayed. He didn't want to abandon his partner. His eyes grew firm. The soul of the ant at last awakens in my heart. He lifted his 10-fold weight of the bee. This is the power of ants. They ran all the way. Kids carry bees all the time. Came to a high wall. This time he also climbed up the vertical wall. The ant's climbing ability he also learned. When they're safe, they came up with a new idea. Apply the potion to the bee sting. While the exterminator bends over to reveal his flaws, stab the potion into his body. The potion finally took effect. Bad guys shrink into little midgets. I can't lift any more weapons. Chased away by the bees. After this battle, the ant recognized the child, and his sentence is over. The sorcerer gives the recovery potion, made the baby human-sized again. He is no longer the coward he once was. When bullies reappear, he stood up to him with determination. That's the kind of courage a child uses. The underlings who have succeeded in turning the bully. Everyone drove the bully away together. The worst pain of all time. It's easy to do now, and made new friends. It's all thanks to the ant's teaching. At the end, the kid took the family fructose. It all went to the ants. All of this, recorded in the history of the ants. The life of an ant is so short, but their character is stronger than many humans.